Alright, and we are live. My audio working okay? Okay, good, it's working. Okay. I have headphones in, so I didn't know if it was gonna pick it up. Welcome everyone to another live stream. Um Very excited about today's because we're doing a tier list. And this is something I've wanted to do for a while, as you can tell from the title and what's on screen, obviously. We're ranking every Cars on the Road diecast so far. This is a tier list made by Cars Likes Ninjago. He's in the chat right now. Thank you for making this. He made it several months ago, but I asked him if he could make some updates to it. Now, it's just the regular diecasts. Color changers are not on here, which is fine. If they were, I think I would probably be pretty negative to a lot of them. I'm going to add another tier. Ooh, that's not how that works. Give me another tier. Ugh. Duh. That didn't work. Okay, well, we got to add an F tier. It's not one of my streams without an F tier. I think I've done an E tier sometimes too. Can I change the color of this? It's gonna be dark and edgy. Okay, you can't even see the letter F. So you know what? No, it's got to be light and slightly less edgy. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I don't think I've usually done. I don't think I've usually done an E tier. Have I? I don't know. I think sometimes I do, and sometimes I don't. It's dependent. It's dependent on the stream. Or dependent on the tier list. This is what I'm excited to do. As if you couldn't already tell, I'm all alone on this stream. I would do it with other people, but I don't want other people on the call with me, because then they can sway my opinion. I've done live streams with people on several occasions. Oh, it's supposed to be is it supposed to be alphabetical? No, it's not. It's sort of alphabetical. Some of them are in weird places. If it's supposed to be alphabetical, I could shift them around. I don't know if it's alphabetical why Lisa and Luis are in the D section here. I was wondering what was up with the order. Let's see. H, I, J, K, L, Luis, Mark, May, Mark, or Mallory, Mark, Mateo. Okay, I think we're good now. Other than Rodette is in the wrong place. What do I think of Ahsoka? Ahsoka's been good. I'm very happy. They made a good Star Wars show. Considering how absolutely abysmal I thought Season 3 of Mando was, I was concerned for this. And it's good. And it's good beyond just fan service, you know? It's one thing being like, oh, it's good because I recognize these characters. No, it's good because I just think it's a good show. Yeah, I think it's been pretty solid. I'm excited to see how they wrap it up, and I don't think it's going to be a happy ending. Thoughts on Episode 5? Episode 5? But Episode 7 came out this week. Episode 5, spoilers, is the one that heavily features certain character, certain someone. It's a few weeks old, but just in case you haven't seen it. I don't think it's the strongest episode of the series. I actually don't, but it's up there. And the casting choices they made were very clever. Everyone did not clever, but everyone did a very good job. solid episode. I think the second half was a little weak. But as so much Dave Filoni content has done over the years, this show knows how to use fan service correctly, which is something that I think fell off in Mando as time went on. But this show knows how to do fan service, how to do callbacks, and something I think Mando knew how to do, but over time it just became too much when he got into Boba Fett and then the Obi-Wan show, and you start getting characters where you're like, why do they need to be here? Leia in the Obi-Wan show made sense, but like the Grand Inquisitor didn't need to be there, especially because he gets impaled. I genuinely think my biggest complaints about Ahsoka is that it shouldn't have been called Ahsoka. And my other complaint is it being live action is completely frivolous. It could have just been animated. You could have just made it be like something regarding Rebels. And I feel like it pushes forward the stigma that like animation isn't as good as live action. Like, no, see, this is legit because this is live action. See, this is a real orange alien person. I told myself I'd stay on topic this time. I didn't. Welcome, Cars Ignite. So I am going to real quick. I gotta go somewhere real quick. I gotta go get water, and then we will start the tier list. So yeah, hold on. Let me see how can I mute myself on this? Woo! Okay, do you hear my voice going down? Put your predictions now. I don't know. Don't predict because I have no clue. I have not thought of where I'm going to place anything just yet. Before doing this, I have no idea. I have not put any thoughts regarding any of this. So. Let's begin. What if you put the Ghost Twins in different tiers? Who are you going to start with? Well, Cars Like Santiago, who made the tier list, he put them in alphabetical order. I considered doing it in release order, but I think alphabetical or just a random order is the best way to go, I think. I think I'd be too hard on myself. I think it'd be too difficult to start in release order. Just seeing all of them here in one place makes it interesting. Again, color changers are not present. That's fine. But it's been 10 minutes, so we are going to begin by reading off who we have. It's every On the Road release so far. Adam Rodriguez, Bella Cadaver, Cave Lightning McQueen, The Chiefess, Then we have the Circus Stunt Biplane and Pity, Claire Gunzer, Cryptid Buster Mater and McQueen, who I just reviewed today, Dats Jammin, Doug Krankel, Gearston, Greebles, Griswold, Hollum Haynes, Ivy, Jeremy, Kay Pillar Derev, Kelly Beambright, Lightning McQueen as Deputy Hazard, Lisa and Louise, I don't know which is which, but I'll just assume they're in the right order, May Pillar Derev, Mallory Carhut, Mark Sondheimer, Mateo and Mato, Niall Speedcone, Narayuki, Peggy Liner, Pitstoposaurus, Quadratorchosaur, Racing Center Cruz Ramirez, or Rusty's Dinoco Cruz Ramirez, if you hate speaking grammatically correctly, Randy, Revocos, Road Rumbler Lightning, and Mater, Road Trip McQueen, 2023 Road Trip McQueen, Road Trip Mater, Rodette Marker, a 2024 release, but she's here, why not? Royce Revsley, Sarah Coggs, Speed Demon, Squat, and West Philanopus. I should also probably detail which ones I don't own. So very quickly, okay, it's probably easier if I say their names. I don't have Adam, Bella, the Chiefess, Cryptid Buster Mater, Jeremy, Mateo, the Quadratorchosaur, Randy, Rodette isn't even out yet, Squat, and West Philanopus I don't have. Everyone else is fair game, but not fair game from Cars 3. Fair game. So, with all that out of the way, I'm a little nervous, guys. We got S tier, A tier, B tier, C tier, D tier, and down here we have F tier. Let's get started. Now, unfortunately, the images are cropped really poorly. So I'm not going to get a good look at the ones I don't have, but I know them well enough. Adam Rodriguez. Let's talk Adam, because he's an interesting one. Adam Rodriguez is our sole representative of Trucks, which is, in my opinion, the weakest episode of the entire series, and has a song that should barely even legally be considered music. Basically, it's the, no, I'm not going to say it. It's, man, I was going to say, like, basically it's the insert trashy singer here of the Cars on the Road. Never mind. Dang, man, I don't have a good punchline. Okay, so Adam is our sole representative from Trucks, an episode with no plot and no story. But Trucks has possibly the best potential for diecasts. Potentially the best potential. How dare you insult Ed Sheeran on my channel? Get out of here, man. No. Everything that comes out of Ed Sheeran's mouth is gold. Okay? Thank you. Anyway, I gotta eat. Wow, okay, yeah, dipping. This is Ed Sheeran and then ditches. You better run, buddy. I'm Lightning McQueen and I am an actor. I understood that reference. So Adam Rodriguez comes from Trucks, which has potentially the best potential for diecasts to me personally. Because Trucks is an episode made entirely of generic background cars of several professions. We have blank school buses, blank fire trucks, blank water tankers, and it's a Cars series creator's dream. Because for years, I've needed episodes with police officers, fire trucks, tow trucks, what have you, and all we have, are security cars, piston cup fire trucks, sheriff, red. And Trucks is allowing us to get blank versions of these characters, many of which just reuse pre-existing models just scrubbing their logos. Trains and Cars Kiddos on, welcome. Unfortunately, Adam Rodriguez is one character in the episode whose logos were not scrubbed. Adam Rodriguez is not a Cars on the Road character. Hate to break it to you. Adam Rodriguez reuses a model of a character from Cars 3 unaltered. He is a race flatbed truck of some kind. I don't own him, but when I do, he's not going in my on the road section of my collection. He's going in the Cars 3 Piston Cup staff. He appears in the same place as Stu Scattershields. He's not he's not an on the road character. And so that's kind of difficult for me to rank. Not because he isn't from on the road, but it's just difficult to rank for those reasons, you know? I guess him not being from... No, if him being from on the road isn't part of the problem. The problem is it's a race rescue vehicle, and it's our sole release from an episode that finally gave us the opportunity to have more blank vehicles. Well, I don't know. I mean, Adam's... I don't know if Adam... Do we know? Adam's not seen clear enough to see if he has that Race Rescue Division logo, because I checked. He's such a background character, honestly, they could not have even bothered to put him on him. But if they did scrub that from him, he does still have the typical Cars Medical logo, so... Anyway, he's a really solid release, but he's difficult. He's a difficult one to... He's a difficult one to place. He's a difficult one to place. Yeah, but he's still part of the race rescue team. He was in, it's the same exact type of vehicle. It's not. Anyway. Someone just said B. I'm thinking B, but it's difficult. It's difficult because I want to place him really high, because I genuinely really like him. And I like what he represents. He represents the fact that we could be getting a lot of solid blank trucks. I think he's going to go in A. I don't own him, but I really like him. I think he's solid. He's going to go in A. Bella Cadaver has been pretty hard to find, but of course she is the director of the film and the episode B movie. Bella Cadaver is one of the last items I expected us to get this year. But she's one of the ones I wanted them to make the most, because she's a generic car with a headset and she's a film director. Something we've never seen in the Cars series. She is just a Fiat. It's red Fiat. She's got a headset. That's, you know, that's all there is to her. And, you know, yeah, so beyond the fact that, I mean, she's been pretty hard to find, But the eyes. The facial expression on her is not good. It's bad. Hold on a second. Sorry, okay. So, the thing with Bella, her face is so bad and so few people have her that I feel like a lot of people, like the world, the Cars community, has not woken up yet to the fact that her face is awful. I like her. She's a 10, but her eyes are terrible. She was gonna go in B tier, but I think she's gonna be dropped in C. As in, when I see her, I think she looks good, except the eyes are, that's all. Cave McQueen is really good. Cave McQueen is a great release. Cave McQueen is a solid looking car. He really is. It's a design that I personally don't like, but the diecast is so good. It's so good and looks so accurate that I can't not place it high. When I reviewed it earlier on this year, I stated that I thought it was probably the best release of the year. And since then, I've seen a lot of other releases that are also really, really, really good. It deserves to be an S tier. I think it deserves to be an S. It looks perfect. It looks perfect. But I personally don't like the Cave McQueen design, so it's hard to put it in S tier. This is the gold standard of what a piece of Cave McQueen merchandise should look like. But I don't like the design. And that's... Yeah, we don't have a Cave Mater, but he should be out next year, hopefully. And that's the hard part. It should be an S, but I can't bring myself to put it in S. So I'm really stuck on this one. I know I could always change it later. But honestly, like, it has some steep competition. It does. It has to go in S. It does. It's on my table here, but it's covered up by some papers, and I'm just remembering when I first opened it. Let me move those papers so I can see it. I remember the first time I held it, and I was like, this... Yeah, I look at it right now. This should be an S tier. Okay. Moving right along. Who is next? Chieftess! I don't have her. She's fine. Chieftess is fine. I don't have the Chieftess. Glad we got her. Would have preferred if she were in a 2-pack with one of the Volkswagen Beetles that carried her instead of with Jeremy, but that doesn't affect the ranking. Chieftess is another one of the characters that I didn't expect us to get this year, but I'm glad we did. I don't have her, but she looks good. I think the only part that doesn't look good is, like, the headdress. I think it just looks kind of cheap. Shouldn't it also be metallic? Let me look at her mini racer. No, it's not metallic on the mini. This is one where I think as soon as I get her, my opinion on her is going to change and become significantly better. I've seen images of her in person for my friend. She looks stunning in person. Yeah, that's the thing. Your personal favorite. Okay, geez, alright. Let me go to Google real quick and see if I can find some other images of her. Because I haven't really seen her well. Put her in S tier. Dang, alright guys, geez. Okay, you know what? She looks really good. Alright. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, that's good. It's accurate. The only problem I have is with the headdress, which in the show is meant to be metal. And here on the diecast just looks like cheap plastic. I think she's going to be A tier. If they had done a metallic finish to that headdress, then you know what, S. Or if the very rare occasion of they made it out of metal, instant S. Solid, great expression on her. You can't see it in that image. Really, really solid. Really solid expression. Circus stunt biplane. I like the circus cars, but the circus stunt biplane is an item that feels cheap. Circus stunt biplane. I don't know. Hydro wheels, planes wings are better. Yeah, and those were rubber. That's the joke. I hope you guys know, for the record, that my ranking system... I should probably establish this. I usually say this on my streams, but, B to me is good. Then A is really, really, really good, and then S is like, you know, top of the class. C is fine, D is eh, and then F is bad. So anything from B to S is something that I really like. B is just average, but it's still, I like this. C is, it's fine. So if I put something in A tier, that's not a bad thing. That's like, S to me is saved for like the greatest things ever made. Which I wouldn't call Cave McQueen that, but I'd call him that out of the ones we have from on the road. So I don't know if you know this. If you don't own Circus Stunt Biplane, you may not be aware of the fact that they are really cheaply made. Really, really cheaply constructed. Like, if you touch the... Like, you could squeeze the landing props together. This has to be placed low purely because it's not a good quality product. It's the cheapest I've ever seen for a plane, and maybe it's because there are no deluxes currently, and this had to be crammed in exclusively for a multi-pack. But let me go find mine real quick, because this is one I think I have to look at in person. Well, of course you could squeeze the landing props together on a plane's diecast, but when you do that for this, the props literally begin to come off of the body of a car. It's just... It's not up to par. It's not up to par with typical construction for cars diecasts, and it's like one of the few times in a review I've described something as like poorly put together. I'm just not the biggest fan of the design either. It doesn't match a lot of the other circus cars. I think it's going to go in D for poor construction. If it was built fine, it would probably be in C. Circus Stunt Pity, or Circus Stunt Performer, is a national treasure and should be cherished by all people. The circus stunt performer is just fun. Okay? He's just a fun guy. Should he have been called Circus Pity, or should he have gotten his own name? Yeah, but you know what? This still probably has my favorite design of any of the clowns. We've gotten a lot of clowns now. They've gotten kind of tired and overdone. Maybe it's because it was the first one that I saw. But this, in my opinion, is the best clown design. It just works the best. And I don't want to put it in S tier, because that is beyond stupid. But it's going in A. People are going to be so mad. Claire Gunzer. Honestly, I think I need another tier. I think we need another tier. I think we need an E tier, guys. Okay. I think that's a little better. Gives me a bit more range. Claire Gunzer is, I think, probably the most boring clown car. Doesn't even have a nose. Doesn't even have a clown nose, but I think it's a pretty solid one. And, I can't decide. I can't decide between B or C for her. So let's say we're restructuring this. So C is now going to be average. C is going to go to an average car. B is going to go to good, A is great, S is amazing, and then, you know, below average, not that good, and then bad. And to me, Claire Gunzer belongs right here in the middle. I think she's a C tier. She's average. She's perfectly fine. There are clown cars I like more. There are clown cars I like less. Now we're on to Cryptid Buster Mater. I don't have Cryptid Buster Mater, but I wish I did. Cryptid Buster Mater does, like, the things that Rumbler Mater did wrong perfectly. He takes the, attempt to correct Mater's color scheme, and he makes it work significantly better than Rumbler Mater. Now, for some reason, there's nothing on the side of this Mater. I don't know why. But the sides, other than, like, the gas tanks he has, and the Wayne County Cryptid Buster logo, they're completely blank. I can't see them. They're invisible. This is just me making a really bad joke. And this is just Mattel making a really, really good Mater. Everything from the mold to the accessories. It has one of the best expressions I've seen on a Mater. The color scheme is spot on and pretty darn accurate. It doesn't do anything wrong. It even has the mud on the tires, which the Lightning didn't have, but Griswold did. The only thing I complain about is that I think the mud color is a bit too light brown. Then you have yourself an S tier. That's a really good Mater, guys. Then we have Cryptid Buster McQueen. Now, I just reviewed Cryptid Buster McQueen today. I just reviewed him. I just posted it a few hours back. And he's also really solid. He's got a good, unique expression. He's got some good accessories on him. His On the Road logo is weirdly colored, in my opinion. I saw a comment, I think from Cars Like Santiago, that also said that. And on mine, it's weirdly high up, but that doesn't really count as a criticism to me. It's fine. It's not like it's fine. I think this McQueen is really good. I love the antenna. Antenna's great. I think it's really good. But as you in the chat are all saying, I don't think it comes close to Mater. So he's going to be A tier. He's A tier. That's Jammin'. Let's talk about That's Jammin'. Let's talk about That's Jammin'. Let's discuss That's Jammin'. I don't know what there is to say. I'm a little That's Jammin'd out by now. I feel like he's been a little overdone for a character that has no lines. He was one of our first on-the-road characters we ever saw. Yeah, Cryptid Buster McQueen doesn't have the mud on his tires, but the Mater did. Dats is good. Dats is very good. The mold is unique and interesting. But the greatest thing about That's Jammin' is how perfectly he captures the look of a non-painted car. That's Jammin' is painted to look like it's his bare metal. And it looks really good. I like his paint job, that's kind of it, lol. Yeah, exactly. So I don't know where he's going. I think he's going to go in B. There are Salt Flats cars I like more. There's Salt Flats cars I like less, but he's good. S tier, dang, Jordan, okay. He's B or A to me. Doug Crankle. Okay, we're going to play a little game here. Doug Crankle if he were green. Doug Crankle as is. B tier. Doug is good. But as we all know, late in the game, Disney changed the color of the zombies to be fully green. So poor Doug is... Welcome, Radiator Springs Reviews. Thank you for joining us. Hello. So Doug is now a little... He's inaccurate. He's out of date. Also, should we rank all the Salt Flat Racers with white wheels? Should they be ranked lower? Dats is really good because you can't see his wheels, but we'll get to some of those. Good point. Doug is going to go in B tier. If Doug were green, he'd be A or S. If Doug were green, I still have the complaint that I think he should have a more zombie-ish expression, but I don't mind. I think his expression is good. I think maybe he should go in A, but I think he'll go in B. Over the last few months, the novelty of him existing has really worn off for me. Gearston Marshall. Gearston's a difficult one. Gearston is like Revo Cost done right. Gearston was our first Salt Flats racer to not have the white wheels, which I think gives her an advantage over a lot of other characters. Gearston is also easily the most overdone Salt Flats racer. Being out in a 2-pack, and an accessory 2-pack this year, and already being announced for a single release next year. Gearston is... I think I'm going to go B. Gearston has a solid design and doesn't have the stupid white tires. Gearston is good. One of my personal favorite Salt Flats cars. A little overdone at this point, but we have to rank them off of what they are, not how often or how they're released. Greebles. Greebles, the long-awaited clown gremlin. Well, he's certainly one of the Cars diecasts of all time. Greebles is a good one. But he's another one where I feel the novelty is worn off. There was, I think, there was a lot of hype around Greebles. But there was only hype around Greebles because he's a gremlin. Greebles has one of the best designs for the clowns. But he has absolutely massive eyes. Someone in a Trains and Cars Kiddo just pointed out, yeah. Massive eyes. But I think, like, Greebles' car model is the only thing that makes him stand out. The fact that he's a gremlin. And now that novelty is worn off, it's been a year, the regular lemons are back in the Cars Diecast line. So yeah, it's a type of vehicle that we as Cars fans like, and it's not frequent we get one. And for that, Greebles is something special. Which, in my opinion, places him above a lot of the other clown cars. I'm struggling between A and B here. I think I'm going to drop him in A. I think he should be in B, especially after what I just said, but I'm going to put him in A. His eyes are a normal size. I think he's a contender for S tier. But to me, he's about on par with a circus clown. Griswold is like... I think Griswold is one of the most underrated on the road diecasts. Griswold came out at a weird time right after the show came out. Griswold is part of a group of 3 characters where we're missing the other 2. Some people write Griswold off as just Bill Revs with accessories. And while that is true, Griswold is just an accessorized Bill Revs. Griswold is solid. I think Griswold goes in B tier. Griswold goes in B, very close to A. What we're going to do after this, after we put them in the tiers, I'm going to be ranking them from worst to best in each tier after. I think it'd be a fun thing to do. That's something I've never done before, but I'm going to rank them from in tiers and then from worst to best. I'm doing well. Thank you, professional racer Lewis Hamilton. Hollum Haynes, I really like. Hollum Haynes blew me away with how good his metallic paint looks. Hollum Haynes takes the graphic design of the circus stunt biplane and makes it work really, really well. Hollum Haynes, I may like Hollum Haynes more than the circus stunt pity at this point. And it's going to be a hot take how much I like Hollum Haynes. No one's going to agree with me. No one is going to agree with me. But I'm putting Hollum... I shouldn't. I should not. No. I shouldn't. I'm going to do it. You can't stop me. Hollum Haynes, A tier. Low A tier, but A tier. Ivy. Contentious topic. Ivy looks good. And that's kind of it for Ivy. Ivy looks good, and that's about all I could give her. At least in the 3-pack, since we don't have deluxes this year. Expression could be better, and her paint scheme is not nearly as good as it could be. I'm pretty sure Ivy's diecast is just one flat color. Companies have really been struggling to capture Ivy correctly, and I think of all things, the Disney Store did it best. The Mini Racer made her metallic, which I think is fine, but maybe a bit too much. The diecast made her one color, which is not correct. Ivy, I think, Ivy, I liked when I got her. I had issues with her, the issues I just addressed. Because there are, she isn't all that accurate. I wish it had suspension. Cars never have suspension. Very rarely. Some early monster trucks have. If only Ivy's back half were the correct color. In using Ivy in Cars Adventures, I've come to quite like her. She's not a 100% spot-on accurate representation of the character. But it's Ivy. You could tell it's Ivy. Ivy's diecast is like what the 2006 Sally was in 2006. You could do better. You could make her look better. But it's just good to have the character. I think Ivy will go in C tier. Jeremy! Let me talk to you about Jeremy. I love Jeremy in the Cars on the Road episode of Road Rumblers. You know what I don't love? How his diecast looks. I don't own him. But to me, Jeremy doesn't look like Jeremy. Jeremy is a very small car and on the road, and for some weird reason, his diecast is like way hiked up. Jeremy's diecast is weirdly tall, and I don't get why. He's weirdly tall, and his face just doesn't look like the character to me. It looks like cute, sweet, innocent character, which is accurate to Jeremy, but it doesn't look like Jeremy. And it disappoints me, but I think I have to put him in D tier, just for that suspension. He doesn't have suspension, but the fact that he's raised up is, to me, such... and he is raised up in the show, but not like this. He's just too big. Make him shorter and he's perfect. Yeah, I think shorter and a little smaller, especially in a 2-pack with a Chiefess, you could tell, like, hold up. Why is this dude so big? I hate to say this, because Jeremy's another one I did not expect us to get this year, and I'm very grateful we did, but Jeremy's got to be D tier, dude. K. Pillar de Rev. K. Pillar de Rev. K. Pillar de Rev. Woo! K. Pillar de Rev. Come on, everybody. Cheer along. It's K. Pillar de Rev. I thought K. Pillar de Rev was fine. But K. Pillar de Rev's face is not very good. In fact, it's just the exact same as Sterling's. K. Pillar de Rev is a case where I feel that I know the diecast better than I know the character. So I sort of forget the fact that in the show, she's this super hyped up, enthusiastic circus host, and on the diecast, it's just Sterling's face. It's just Sterling's face. So she's got to go in D tier, I'm sorry. Also, her shade of white is way too bright. I remember that being a problem I had in the review. And it's just that face. Also, she's a terrible peg warmer in my area, but I'm not letting that affect my ranking. Kelly Beambright is probably my least favorite clown. Kelly Beambright is a car that when I got her, I had nothing to say in my review. Absolutely nothing. I had no clue what to say. Kelly Beambright is, to me, just another clown. I like that she's a Volkswagen Beetle. That's what I like most about the clowns. Each one's a different type of car. But Kelly is just uninteresting to me. And I don't like how small her eyes are. Ty, you say this car's eyes are too big, and you say this one's eyes are too small? Make up your mind, man. Yeah, I know. You'll come to see through this tier list that I think the face can really make or break the character. But sometimes in cases like Greebles, I can look past that. Kelly, I think, belongs in D tier. D tier is for cars I genuinely don't like. Kelly's just forgettable, so Kelly can go in C. Deputy Hazard was one of my most anticipated cars. Deputy Hazard is difficult. I really don't like his facial expression. The eyes just look off. But I can't deny he looks like McQueen. Don't look at me. Deputy Hazard is one I need to actually... Ironically, I need to look at him in order to formulate my opinion. Deputy Hazard's eyes are way off, but they do look like McQueen. I feel like the different colors on him are a bit too similar to each other, which makes him, to me, just look like a greenish, tannish blob. He's a disappointment. I agree. I feel like his colors are a bit more different. I think he's going to go C tier. Don't look at C. Lisa and Luis once again suffer from wrong eye size syndrome. Lisa and Luis are these two children, basically. Are they not? They're young girls. They have huge eyes in the show. And not on the Diecast. But I like them. I really do like them. I think they're so fun. They're unlike any cars we've ever gotten before. They're a parody of the twins from The Shining, and they are by far some of my most wanted cars of the year. A lot of my most wanted cars honestly sort of disappointed me. Lisa and Luis did not. Lisa and Luis's eyes are not the right size, but unlike other characters, remember how I said for Greebles a few minutes ago, eye size or facial expression can make or break a character for me. Unless it works. And I think Lisa and Luis work. And I think I'm going to put them in A tier. I think they should be in B. The eyes are too small, but they still look fine. That's the thing. May Pillar Derev is, in my opinion, better than K. May Pillar Derev is also, by far, the worst peg warmer in my area in a very long time. I like May more than K. I think May fixed some of the issues with K. So I'm going to put her a tier above K. I'm going to put her in C. Mallory Carhut is good. I'm gonna go get Mallory Carhut, because I think that'll help me with my opinion here. Mallory Carhut pulled off something really well. Mallory Carhut, I went to the other room that I put cars in, and Mallory is not in there, so now I have to go back. Okay, so I don't know where my Mallory Carhut is, but what I do know is that Mallory Carhut is good. Mallory Carhut solves the issue of ghost cars very well. Everything being one flat color, incredibly clever way to pull off the effect of the cars being ghosts without making them translucent, which is something that they cannot do because they're made of metal. Mallory's model is great. Her facial expression is great. The way that they paint around her eyes is amazing, making them sort of yellowed and shaded. Mallory is really, really good. And the best part about her is that when you're holding her, she has disgusting matte paint. It's not that. When you hold Mallory, when you look at Mallory, she doesn't look like any other Cars diecast out there. Because they made sure that every piece of her is the exact same color, except the windows, which are made of a different material, so I could excuse it. But they're so slightly different you could barely tell. Mallory feels supernatural. Mallory feels otherworldly because she isn't made like any other car. And I think I just talked myself into putting Mallory Carhut into S tier. Mark Sontheimer is the definition of who asked for this. Mark Sontheimer, in my opinion, demonstrates a lot of problems with Cars on the Road diecasts. He's an unnecessary reuse of Dat's Jammin' nobody asked for. And I feel like he hits a low for Cars on the Road diecasts. A low, yeah, I'd recommend buying Mallory, she's very good. A low that I hope on the road diecasts don't continue to hit. Something this obscure and this unneeded is, for me, disappointing to get in the first year of on-the-road releases, when there's a lot of other stuff out there. Mark is fine. The cars that are in D tier are ones that I think there's genuinely an issue with. So Mark has to go in C. I put C for average, right? Yeah, Mark is like the dictionary definition of passable. No one asked for him, but there are no problems with him, so he's right there in the middle. Mateo. I don't have Mateo. I really want Mateo. Mateo is great. I love Mateo. Mateo is like my favorite character they made for On the Road. And the fact that I never found him is forever really upsetting to me. Where's the birthday boy? I understood that reference. See, the thing with Mark Sontheimer is he's so boring that I made an entire Cars Adventures episode that stars him with the sole purpose of trying to make him vaguely interesting. I don't have Mateo. The only problem is that Mateo is too small. He's just too small. We have other cars of his exact same model, like Hiroaki and Yukio, and I think Takeshi. Yeah, they're all the same type of car. They're smart cars. And Mateo is way too small. At the very least, Mateo scales just fine with Mato. Mateo is too small, but I love Mateo too much to not rank him as highly as possible. Guys, stop me now, but Mateo's going in S tier. Now, Mato, I have reviewed. Mato is a strange case where I kind of immediately forgot that I bought her. The only problem with Mato is one Mateo also has, but Mato has it worse. That's the fact that she's always in her wedding gear, and I would just prefer Mato to be blank. But that's personal preference, and that more so comes from me being like, I run a Cars series, and if I ever want to use Mato, which I'd love to do, what do I do about the flower crown? Mato is great. Mato's color scheme blew me away. Mato is one of those cars where you see her online and you're like, yeah, wow, she looks pretty good. And then you see her in person and she's 1,000 times better somehow. The only problem with Mato is maybe she too was a little too small. But I don't care I don't care enough. She's good. And I think Mateo looks better than her other than size. But Mato looks really, really good in person. So Mato has to be an S tier as well. Now, Niall. Say they accidentally used super glue during the wedding and they're stuck forever. No, in the final scene of the episode when they're in the tire maze, the stuff is off of them, so. Niall, let's talk about her. Niall Speed Cone is a good salt flats car. I don't like Niall as much as I've seen other people like Niall. But I don't like Niall that much because Niall is just shorter Peggy. Niall is going to go B tier, I think. Yeah, I think that's fitting. Tire maze was a hallucination. Noriyuki starts the trend of cars that would be really good if not for the white wheels. Noriyuki should be in B tier or maybe even A tier, but those wheels. The wheels. It's the wheels. Noriyuki is the first of several cars where the wheels ruin them. And I have to put him in a lower tier purely because of that. I love Noriyuki. I think I would love him if he had regular colored wheels. Peggy Liner is the best Salt Flats racer, one of the best Cars diecasts ever made, and no other Salt Flats car we ever get will top her. Peggy Liner is one of my favorite things Mattel has ever done in the Cars diecast line. There will never be another car like Peggy Liner. That's all there is to it. The Pit Stoposaurus was one of my most wanted on the road diecasts, but he's one I told myself would never happen. Turns out they're so desperate for Cars diecast ideas from Dino Park that they made him immediately. Woo! We don't even have Mater yet, but we have him. Let's go. The Pit Stoposaurus is just fun. I gave him a glowing review because it's just fun. It's a fun item, and I love it, and it's so funny and clever, and it's one of those items that really shows you how great the sense of humor they have is. I can't say it's the best Cars diecast ever made. It's going to go in A, though. The Quadratorkosaur. I think this is Karzlik's Ninjago's own image. Guys, I'm really dino card out by now, okay? Everyone was getting so excited over the Quadratorkosaur, and I was like, I don't get why. We have the color changer, which is basically the same. Also, it's not any bigger. So this is basically the baby Quadratorkosaur. It is the baby Quadratorkosaur. Additionally, it's based on the statues we see, but the artwork is from the film Materseas. So it looks like the adult. It's based on the statue of the adult, but the scale and the artwork are accurate to the baby one, which we got the color changer of. I don't have the Quadratorkosaur, so maybe my opinions are going to change. But I'm just not the biggest fan of the design. I think I'm going to throw it in B tier. I can't decide between B and C. I think B tier is fine. Probably a low B tier. Alright. Racing Center Cruise. Really nice metallic color scheme. It's kind of all I got. It's pretty fine. Run of the mill. I like the concept. Solid execution. B. Hard to have things to say about that one. Best cruise made hands down. Okay, never mind. You got stuff to say about it. Wow. Randy. Oh, Randy. Randy. As your friendly neighborhood Steve Herschel lover, you'd think I really like Randy. But I don't. Randy is, to me, one of the biggest disappointments of the year. I love his eyes. I love his green ghost eyes. But I don't love the rest. You can't see it here, but he uses the same mouth as Steve Herschel. And I didn't think they'd do that. Randy has this wicked smile at all times. He's got a crazy mouth with all these jagged, crooked teeth. And the diecast just reuses Steve's mouth. And I thought we were past that now. I thought for sure they would have given him his own mouth. And the red. The shade of red is, I think, very wrong. In fact, when I first saw the episode, I didn't even register to me that Randy was painted red. Someone told me that on a live stream, and I went back and I was like, oh yeah, he was red. Now, he's always in really poorly lit scenes. But I think he should have a darker shade of red on the diecast. Am I wrong in saying that? Am I incorrect? I think he should be much more maroon than this bright red. It also clashes pretty poorly with the roof. I love Randy the character. Randy's fun. I love the hearse mold. If they did a ghost Randy, then I wouldn't have any of these issues other than the Steve mouth. But he looks too much like Steve to me. He just looks like red Steve Herschel, which is basically what he is, but he had his own unique mouth. Maybe my opinion will change when I get him. Is that too low? It's probably too low. But I really don't like how he turned out. Alright, so Revo Koss is next. Revo is one of those... Revo is a case of an item that I'd really like if he had correct colored wheels. He's just boring. He also has a color inaccuracy with his front. Revo's D tier. I just don't like him that much. That's all. That's really it. It's not... that's all there is. He's just not an interesting design. I think Gearston is a lot better, and they're pretty similar. Road Rumbler McQueen is really good. After being thoroughly disappointed by the color changer and the terrible Disney Store release, I wasn't looking forward to having to review the regular Road Rumbler McQueen. I knew I would like him. I knew he'd be good. And, I mean, it's exactly that. I like him, and he's very good. And I think I like him more than Cave McQueen. And thus, he belongs in S tier. Here's the thing that you may notice. When a Cars on the Road diecast is good, it's really good. Like, potentially one of the best cars of all time, really good. That's why there's so much in S. When an on-the-road car is good, it's so good. When a Cars on the Road diecast is bad, it's Road Rumbler Mater. Road Rumbler Mater is one of the biggest blunders I've seen in Cars diecast history. Absolutely abysmal interpretation of Mater. The face is genuinely gonna go down in history to me as the worst face I think I've ever seen on a Cars diecast. He looks like he's on 18 different kinds of drugs and also that he just farted. I cannot say nice things about Road Rumbler Mater. Road Rumbler Mater tries to give Mater a better color scheme, but in doing so makes half of him so light that he's nearly painted white, and other parts of him so dark that his engine area is painted almost entirely black. While the molding is good, and the gun up top, and the mace, and a bugle horn on the side, are all good, the face and the color scheme of this Mater make him so bad. I will say he looks a little better in person. But if you put lipstick on a pig, it's still a pig. F tier. Road Trip McQueen, first edition, is fine. He's fine. I don't know what to say. And it's hard to talk about Road Trip McQueen without talking about the 2023 Road Trip McQueen, the Expression variant. He's fine. I think he's just C tier, maybe B tier. I'll throw him in. He's C. He's completely middle of the road. And then I'm going to put the Expression variant in B. I like the McQueen paint job. I know some people had a problem with him having the same face as Cars 3 McQueen, but I didn't mind at all, which is why he's just in C and not lower. And this one has a new face, so he gets an advantage. Would I tell you to buy one and ignore the other? I don't know. Buy this one because he has a unique face. Buy this one if you want a generic-looking McQueen. Road Trip Mater, on the other hand, is great because he's not locked behind the fact that he has a different paint job. Road Trip Mater is just a regular Mater that looks excited. And that's nice, as somebody who loves expression variants and wishes we got more of them. He's good. He's a good looking Mater. I think Cryptid Buster Mater has a better face. Yeah, well, no, we didn't include a Road Trip Mater because it's just normal Mater. He doesn't count. I don't know where to put this. I think I'll put him on B tier. I like him more than the McQueen, but I don't like him a full tier more. Rodette Marker shouldn't count because Rodette Marker, she's not out yet. And Rodette Marker, I don't know if you've seen her yet because she's new, but Rodette Marker has just the goofiest face. Rodette Marker is disappointing to me because Rodette Marker is the clown in the show that keeps creepily popping up behind McQueen. And as soon as we saw that she was coming out, I was really hoping that would be the face she was given. She was not given that face. Instead, for some reason, she becomes like the 10th clown to have a sad face. And I don't mind that. And, like, the face is really bad, but I have a soft spot for it. I think it's kind of cute. I think it's cute in like a weird way. I think it's kind of a cute face. It's just so goofy. Goofy looking tuner clown. It's so goofy that I can't entirely hate it. When I first saw it, the eyes seemed really far apart. Looking at it again, it's not as bad. I'm sorry, guys. This is going to be a hot take, okay? But I just think Rodette is fun. Could have been better, but honestly, one of my favorite clown designs, not as boring as some of the other ones, should have had a better face, but much like Greebles, and Lisa and Luis, the face is worse than Greebles, but it's, like, I can't not like it. So, I think she'll go in C. Yeah, B. Just because I like the design more, and I like the usage of the Suki model for a clown, I think it fits. She had a better face than probably A tier. Maybe even S tier. She had potential to be the best clown. If she had the creepy face, double S tier, man. We've come to the final 5 here. We're going to start off with Royce Revsley, who is my favorite Salt Flats car, except he has white wheels. White tires. If Royce had black tires, Royce would be A tier. But alas, he does not. So he's in C tier. Which is really saying something, because I really, really like him. But he has the white wheels the worst, because he has the most tires showing out of any of them. So I can't put him high up. Sarah Cogs is just boring. Sarah Cogs is like D tier. There's nothing wrong with her. She's just not interesting. I have nothing to say for Sarah Cogs. She's fine. Sarah Cogs exists, and that's all. Speed Demon is also put together in the not the most structurally sound way. I was able to twist the wings off when I bought duplicates for Batcar. I like Speed Demon. I do. But not that much. Speed Demon is unique, but I really like the design. Speed Demon's area, the areas under here, sort of where the part above the wheels, are gray plastic pieces when they should be black, like the rest of the car. Speed Demon goes in C. Speed Demon's middle of the road for me. No, the whole body of Speed Demon is metal. And plastic's not a bad thing. It's just the plastic isn't the same color. Let's end things on a high note. Squat is perfect. Squat is really, really good. Yeah, one of the lightest cars ever made for Speed Demon, yeah. Squat is just... Okay? Squat is on point. Squat is genuinely one of the best. That's all. Squat may have to be S tier. Squat is S tier. Squat is one of the most accurate looking cars diecasts I think I've ever seen. And then we have the West Philanthropist, which is one of the best looking cars diecasts of the year, hands down. West Philanthropist is really solid. It's very close to S tier. If I put it in S tier, then S and A tier are tied, which I think is a testament to how good on the road releases have been. What is holding me back from doing that is the fact that I'm just not a big fan of the dinosaurs. So, due to my own personal preference, I think West Philanthropist is going to be an A tier. I think. If there was a tier between S and A, the West Philanthropist would be there. I'm going to go A. So you can see A, B, and C are all tied. Just looking at this, just the consensus of it, like I said before, when an on-the-road diecast is good, it's really, really, really good. Most of them are just alright. They're solid. They're pretty alright. But when an item is good, it's so good. A lot of them are mediocre. There are only a few I think are genuinely bad. And, yeah. So before we wrap things up, I'm going to rank everything in the list from worst to best. Let's see. Start from the bottom. So worst is this. I think this is accurate. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Going from worst to best from left to right, right? So worst, and then second worst, third worst. So now, sort stuff out. Alright, worst of D tier is kind of difficult. Because these two are bad and these three are just lame. I think Bella's face is bad, but Bella is up there. Because I think the only thing that's only thing that's bad about her is the face. She doesn't have other issues. I think Jeremy's going to go in the solid middle. I think Sarah's probably the worst of these. Boring design mixed with white tire syndrome. Yeah, I think that's good. Like, these are boring. And in my opinion, bad is better than boring. Worst of C tier is Mark. Then Deputy Hazard. Then Speed Demon. Then I think Kelly. Oop. Kelly. May, Royce, Noriyuki. Okay. Mark, Hazard, Demon, Kelly, May, Royce, Noriyuki, McQueen, Ivy, Claire. What is the worst of B tier? Maybe Niall or Doug. A Quadratorchosaur, maybe? A Gearston. Gearston. Cruz looks so much better in person, so it's hard. It's hard going off of these images. We're getting to ones where I like all of them. Gearston, Rodette, Quadratorchosaur there. From Nile, a little further down. Yeah, this looks about right to me. There we go. A tier. Best tier is usually front of the tier. Oops. Well. Yeah, that makes sense. I think I knew that. Alright, well, here we go. Put Griswold at the top of B tier. Griswold deserves it. I think that's above Doug. Okay. West Philanthropus is easily the best of A tier. West Philanthropus should be an S. Oh, did I? I don't know if I meant to do that. Kelly and Deputy Hazard. Yeah, oops. There you go. Alright. Pistoposaurus. Lisa and Luis. I think this is pretty accurate. Holm Haynes can go here. Cryptid McQueen here. There we go. Okay, now we're good. And finally, S tier. Peggy has to be number 1. Then Mater. I think Squat. Yep. Seems good to me. So there you have it. That is my full ranking. Super controversial. Totally gonna get me canceled. There you have it. I think very few people out there are going to fully agree with many of my choices. But I think we could all unanimously agree that S tier is pretty good. Oh wait, I messed up. Gearston is way too high. There you go. But there you have it. That is my full list. Let me know what you think. I am going to make a lot of enemies. No, it's fine. But But yeah, that is it. I will be posting this to my server if you're on there and you want to yell at me for my choices. And that is all. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you.